From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Hold the line.
It's Tuesday, June 11, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, on the ones and twos, our illustrious engineer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
Over there on the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, everybody.
And just on the road there in Nashville, author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
Annie, we missed you last week. I did not enjoy doing 2 podcasts without you.
Listen, I didn't enjoy what y'all did without me. So
I'd say you're in the majority because I do not usually get tagged in the negative reviews of the podcast episodes.
Right.
Usually people are nice. I think because usually, even if the pod is bad, I'm pretty good on it. But in this case, the fans were unhappy and everybody had the same reason. It's because you weren't around.
This is called agreeing to disagree because I shined like the brightest diamond there is. And and do I think it's off-brand? Do I think it was not courteous to listeners? Do I think it was just odd that I chose to talk about Rambo, a film trailer at length?
So long.
At length.
So
the
long.
answer is no. The answer is no. It's a hard no, Annie.
It was pretty long.
Can I say behind the scenes, though, this is not Jesse's fault. This is Chandler. Because we recorded on Tuesday, the day the show had to go out, so we didn't have our normal window of crafting that we do in the post-production. So Chandler had to do a rush edit, right? Mm-hmm. Which when he does a rush edit, he's just kind of like hitting fast forward on it. So normally what people listen to.
Chandler's like, nope, I purposely left all that.
Listen, I think he nailed it. I think it was beautiful. It was the light touch that episode deserved.
The light touch. No, that normally Jesse does go on these 35-minute rants about things that on the final show end up being 6 minutes. And everybody's like, oh, he's so funny and brilliant. And we're like, we sat through 35 minutes of that, though. You know what I mean?
Listen, and the only reason isn't for quality. Listen, the reason they chop me up and then butcher me isn't for quality reasons. It's because there's just some listeners that can't handle what I have to say.
Yeah, it's because we're jealous that we can't do that for 35
Some people
minutes.
are ready to drink from the fire hose, and that's not my problem.
So for everybody who hits us up from now and again, and they say like, hey, you guys should do an unedited show, or you guys should just like let it ride. What you experienced last Tuesday is letting it ride. And that even had editing done to it.
Listen,
just
if
FYI.
you don't count the burner accounts that I set up to say those exact words, there were at least 4 people who
I got so tickled. Literally all of a sudden, my Twitter blew up with people going like, Annie, where are you? Annie, what's happening? Annie, do you know what's going on in your absence? And I was like, these guys. What can I do?
Annie, what movie would you feel most comfortable going off on a 35-minute? Which movie, or film franchise?
How about this? Which
do
movie
you feel like
trailer? Not even the actual film. Just a 2-minute trailer. But remember, that trailer contains a heavy metal remix of Old Town Road.
Don't. No, this is why I'm here. We're not starting it again. Rambo gets one sighting a year when I'm out of town and unable to be on. And that was last week, and we're done there.
Shame.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I appreciate
and
it.
the answer is you've got mail, Tyler. The answer is you've got mail. Just so you know, the answer is you've got mail.
Thank you for coming back. I didn't want to ask again because it sounded like that was going to go down a hole we didn't want to go
You've got mail.
Let me ask you this, Annie. Does Tom Hanks punch anybody's head off and you got mail? Okay, that's what I thought.
Cameron,
thank you.
Today on the show,
Cameron, do something.
We have a great show in store for you, but I got to come back to Tom Hanks in a second. Coming up later, Phil Wickham is joining us today on the show. He has a new live worship project, and it's not just Phil Wickham. He's got Brian and Jen Johnson on it. He's got Matt Redman on it. And we talked to him about the project.
I love it. It's a great stripped down. It's like acoustic. It's awesome. I mean, we
have had countless Christian music stars come through our studios over the years to do podcast performances. And I would say none are better looking than Phil Wickham.
He's handsome.
That's
isn't he?
probably true. He's a great.
He's a good looking. He's a good looking guy.
He is. I'll say this: he is a handsome devil. And you will, as you know, I don't want to give too much of the interview away, but we talked about his appearance for the entirety of the conversation.
Did you? Oh, get out of here!
30 minutes of his skincare routine.
I don't know how to tell you this. Tom Hanks connection. You've mentioned You Got Mail. Tom Hanks. He's a legend. He's a legend. Well, I spent the majority of the weekend in the hospital with a friend. Is the hospital right near my house here in Orlando. And last night, the nurses were all at Twitter. There was a buzz going on the floor. And I was like, what's going on? And they said, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are in the hospital right now.
To promote Toy Story to hospital people?
They were visiting the children's ward. At this hospital, the big one here in Orlando, well, we have several, but this one's called Advent Health. It's a Christian hospital. They have a children's hospital that has a Walt Disney pavilion. And so Disney brought Tom Hanks and Tim Allen to come visit the sick kids last night. Adorable. So all the nurses are trying to figure out how they can go, catch a glimpse of Tom Hanks.
Yeah, sure.
And so
but not Tim Allen? I would think it would be Tim Allen too, just because he's biased.
Yeah, no. So I went with him. I went looking to see if I could catch a glimpse of old Tommy. Nah, I missed him.
None.
Well, my fun fact: my sister-in-law actually works at that very hospital, and said that they get that's like a stop for like this. A lot of the celebrities that come through Orlando to visit the children's ward. She said Lauren Daigle was just there recently and just hung out with the kids for a while. So it's very cool.
Something that along this sort of same line, something that I just recently realized while I was doing some Toy Story 4 prep here, and this probably happens more than I think it does, but at no point in any of these now 4 movies that Tim Allen and Tom Hanks have been a part of have they recorded in the same studio together. They record all their. It has not happened. They record all their lines independently of each other, not because they don't like it. I mean, they might not like each other. I don't know, but just because that they don't need each other. That you can just come in, say your lines, and leave, and they can. Via the magic of Pixar's post-production. I mean, I know it's the same thing we do here. We don't actually talk to each other, but it still feels these are big movies.
We all have meticulously crafted scripts that I write the night before the podcast that are edited, and you guys read them verbatim every
Literally
week.
No one believes that. Everyone knows this thing is not scripted.
I start writing the next episode script the moment the next podcast ends. I haven't slept in 3.5 years right now. It's been.
Did you see? Speaking of Pixar, and how they record it? Did you see the Letterman interview with Ellen on Netflix?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
I really
did.
So we posted part of it where she talked about for the first time publicly talked about a sexual abuse she went through in her past. But one of the interesting things was. They were talking about the point in her career where she came out. She had a sitcom on ABC, and there was an episode on it where the character on the show came out, and then at the same time she came out. This show got canceled. She basically got blacklisted in Hollywood. She said for 3 years she couldn't get any work.
No work.
And she said during that season, she moved back to Ohio. And the one thing that happened was she got reached out to by one of the Pixar writers who was working on a new movie called Finding Nemo. And while he was writing the script, had this fish character that was kind of forgetful and all this stuff. And he's like, how can I deliver this character where it doesn't feel insensitive to like somebody who, might have actual mental issues,
memory
right?
loss issues.
And so he said he was writing it and he heard Ellen's voice, like the TV was on in the other room or whatever. And he's like, that's the voice of Dory. Like that's it right there. Because her comedy is very much scattered train of thought. If you see her old stand-up, it's like when she had the mullet and everything, it was very much kind of like she's going one direction and then jumps. It's just all over the place, scattered. And it was like, that's it. Dory's scattered. She's not like a mental issue. She's scattered. And so he reached out to her. She was living in Ohio, couldn't get any employment. He reached out to her and said, would you do the voice of this character? She said, yes, I need a job. She got scale. What she said to Letterman was for 3 years of work, she got paid $75,000 total.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy?
That is insane. 25 grand a year to do what became a multi hundreds of millions of dollar franchise.
And I was not aware. I mean, I guess just because I was kind of young at the time, but I was not aware that Finding Nemo predated the talk show, like her return.
Yeah,
now
I
she's
didn't realize
Ellen.
that either.
She's
right.
So there was a gap between Ellen, the sitcom character, and Ellen as we think of her today, the multimedia conglomerate.
I do want to mention one other thing about Ellen. I saw someone was doing some sort of listicle about the rise of the rise of how Old Town Road became a thing so quick. And I guess Ellen had played it one day on her show, and Lil Nas X, the person behind Old Town Road, tweeted. Yeah, he tweeted, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe my song just got played by Ellen DeGeneres." And it's very unclear if he actually thinks her name is Ellen DeGeneres.
It should be. That's a great nickname.
I mean, conceivably, he's 20 years old, right?
Yeah,
so conceivably, he didn't grow up with Ellen DeGeneres, the actress. He grew up with Ellen, the talk show host, who frequently gives away awesome things on her show. So conceivably, he wasn't kidding when he was excited to be mentioned by Ellen DeGeneres.
One of the things I've learned spending the last week off and on in the hospital is that you have a lot of time on your hands.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You're just sitting there, and so got the old Netflix fired up, and I watched not only all these Lettermans, but I watched because they talked about it. I watched Ellen's her return stand-up special. Relatable,
Netflix.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most brilliantly crafted bits, hours of comedy I've ever heard. It was it was crafted narrative arc like a sitcom. It was unbelievable how strong it was, and she hasn't done it in 16 years.
Yeah.
She was at the top of her game, and she doesn't do stand up. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It was so good. So I would actually advocate, even if you're not an Ellen fan, go check out Relatable. Her new special is really good.
Okay, Jesse, you know what we haven't talked about either is Live PD on This American Life.
Dude, my Live PD fascination's over. It is.
Do y'all know this? Did y'all listen to this episode?
No, I don't know what we're talking
Me
about.
and Jesse, there was a bit of a text storm between the two of us.
Yeah.
Meaning he responded and I responded. Because I sent a text, he responded, I responded. That was the fullness of our storm. That Live PD is targets people. Am I saying that correctly, Jesse? Based on the NPR, based on the This American Life research, if we're going to give up on something, I'm giving up on Live PD and Goop in the same day.
I'm totally fine canceling Live PD. Let's
Wait, can you please explain both what the show is, your love of it last season?
So
Live
PD is a show that purports to cut around to cameramen around the country who are live serving their communities up to the minute. So imagine if you ever watch NFL Red Zone, where there's a bunch of football games going around the country, they cut around and they have a control room where experts are telling you what's happened. And so they'll have the people in the studio and they'll be like, okay, now let's go to Birmingham, Alabama, where a pursuit is in process. And you go and you jump into the pursuit, and it's thrilling to watch live. And it's developed this huge cult following. Like what they were saying on,
and it's live every Friday night and Saturday night.
Every Friday night and Saturday night. But
it's my companion a lot of nights when I'm done speaking at a conference or an event. Get back to my hotel, snuggle up, turn on a little Live PD, text Jesse some things that I'm learning. And that's pretty much how my weekends go.
It is enthralling television. I love it. But this new investigation into them and the show Cops has shown just how unethical they are. Not only is it not really live, what you're watching is on something like a 40-minute delay. Sometimes
that feels a little bit fair.
I think that, if somebody got shot on live TV, we couldn't handle it.
I'm not asking anyone to get shot, but the thrill of the show is that anything can happen at any moment. We could see a really great chase or something like that. Or, just someone committing a preposterous crime.
Still, again, I'm not against that. The Oscars is delayed. It's you can't.
That wasn't your biggest problem, Jesse. Your biggest problem wasn't the delay.
Well, no, but the other problem is some of it was shot weeks ago, and they just keep really good arrests and be earlier, and they insinuate that it was earlier that evening, even though it was weeks ago. The other thing too is that they made the accusation specifically about Cops, but the implication is Live PD does it too, is that the people are pressured into giving consent. into their faces being shown.
Too.
Like the cops will be like, well, maybe some of these charges will get dropped if you sign the release form that you can be on live PD. And basically these producers manipulating people who technically haven't been found guilty of committing any crime. Like, they lose their presumption of innocence and are sort of manipulated into signing release forms.
Right.
And a lot of these people have had their lives ruined because they come weird. Like live PD has such a cult following that some of these like perpetrators are like weird celebrities in their own right, but you don't want to be a celebrity.
The policemen are too. When you look up the policemen on Instagram, I would hear this. Fine, I do this. When you look up the policemen on Instagram, they all have thousands and tens of thousands of followers because people follow them because of their live PD appearances.
Yeah.
And so they were all, anyway. So if you're going to make me quit Goop, then I'm also going to for sure have to quit Live PD.
I'm quitting. And I feel bad because I was a big advocate for this show. I was part of Live Nation,
I was part of Live Nation too.
And,
brutal.
It breaks my heart, but I gotta give up on Live PD. It seems too unethical,
We apologize to everybody who was led astray by our endorsement, the relevant endorsement of Live PD.
And Flat Earth. We're sorry for both of the groups of people who believed us.
I usually don't apologize. My preferred method is to double down. That's the era that we're in. But I will apologize because this show seems really bad.
That is. I do appreciate your double downness, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our TV recap. Stay tuned. Up next, Slices. You're listening to Tame Impala. The song is Patience. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Avicii featuring Arizona with the song Hold the Line. Hey, today's episode is brought to you by Quip. Are you looking for something to give your dad or celebrate a new grad in your life? This June, you have to buy some presents. Get them a one-size-fits-all gift like a new oral health routine with Quip. The guiding features make sticking to good habits simple, and signing them up for a subscription helps them save and refresh the brush on time. With the Quip electric toothbrush, you can show your thanks where it really counts. Quip is one of the first electric toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association. They're backed by over 25,000 dental professionals and have thousands of verified 5-star reviews. It's like if Apple or Tesla designed a toothbrush. It looks great, it's high quality, and the great thing is with the for just $5, you can sign up for a Quip subscription where they will replace your Quip toothbrush head every 3 months, which is what you should be doing. Right now, Quip is offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can join over 1 million happy, healthy mouths and sign up for Quip. Quip starts at just $25, and when you go to getquip.com/relevant right now, you can get your first refill pack for free. So that's getquip.com/relevant. Makes a great gift. Do you guys know what you're getting your dad for Father's Day?
Do now.
I know exactly.
That was a very compelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, and years past when like Harry's sponsored the show, got Dad Harry's when the Quip. That's it. I'm
perfect.
In. It's
because
perfect.
no dad's gonna open that up and be like, "Oh, what is this?" They're like, "Oh, cool, a sweet toothbrush."
Yeah, that's a good one. My dad's a listener, so I can't reveal. See, I don't want to get into it too much.
Now he knows you spent $25 on his Father's Day present.
But Dad, and I
got to see my dad this weekend, so we already celebrated. So
What'd you get him, Annie?
She actually just leaned over and brushed his teeth for him as an active serving, like washing his feet.
Teeth cleaning. Deep teeth cleaning.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Dad, I too will be gifting you a personalized toothbrushing from Annie F. Downs.
I hate everything.
All right, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right, before we get to unlicensed dental hygienist Annie F. Downs, I do want to, which trust me, that is not something we're going to dabble in, speaking from experience. It's not a good way to hustle up money, Annie. I do want to apologize for the last Rambo-less half hour. Now, I am going to keep, I do have a twofer because I am me. And the first one is related to our
literally,
TV
you need a relevant t-shirt that just says, I am me. And then a little podcast logo on it.
Twofer, parenthesis, twofer. So we'll keep on. It's apropos. We were talking about television because Steven Spielberg has recently signed up to be a part of a new platform. There's a new streaming platform called, it's a horrible name if you ask me. It's meant to be short for Quick Bites. Which sound like a 90s like lunchbox snack like Dunkaroos, Quick Bites.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is signed on to be a part of this new platform called Quick Bites, which has sort of an interesting differentiation than other streaming platforms. One, it's meant pretty much only be watched on mobile devices. So this isn't something where, they're planning on people using their, smart TVs to watch because it's specifically targeting people who are under the age of 35 because according to the CEO Jeffrey Katzenberg, if you're 25 to 35 years old, you're on your smartphone for over 5 hours a day. And how they're making content specific for the phones is that every piece of individual program is only 7 to 10 minutes long. So if you're watching a series, it can still be a longer series with chapters, but each episode of everything on the platform will live between the time frames of 7 and 10 minutes. So like if you're waiting in like a doctor's office, if you're getting your teeth cleaned by Annie for an under the you respond to her Craigslist ad about that. These are the perfect these are the perfect things to consume because they're right in that time frame where maybe not have an episode. Might not have enough time for an episode of Stranger Things, but you got something on Quibi, which is what it's called. Well, Steven Spielberg's idea for a show leans even further into the whole construct of being only available on mobile devices. In addition to being broken up into 12 chapters that are around 10 minutes each, it's going to be something that he says is, quote, super scary. But again, this is Spielberg. So super scary is like Jaws and stuff, or Jurassic Park. He's not really, the gore type of guy. He does more of like the,
suspense thrillers.
Yeah, exactly. So because of that, though, there is a twist in that he wants people only to be able to watch it in the dark. Like this isn't like, he feels like it will enhance the show if you can only watch it at nighttime. So the app that delivers it, the Quibi app, will actually look at what time it is based on your geolocation on your phone, and to see if the sun hasn't gone down yet, or if the sun has risen, Steven Spielberg's show will not be available. It will only be available in nighttime hours. It sounds like a gimmick, but it also shows that they're, even like the big hitters, like a Steven Spielberg is looking for ways to hook people in the era of just a flood of content. You guys seem incredulous.
I hate it.
Both Cameron and Annie look very out on it, and I feel pretty out on it.
As somebody who's been watching a lot of video content on my various devices over the last few days, I including like in the middle of the night on my phone with headphones in, I don't want to watch TV content on my phone. I don't want to have to hold it in my hand.
Yeah.
Like maybe a little web video, but I think anything over a minute, I just don't think that that's the platform for it or the actual device for it. I mean, laptop, iPad, pop it up onto an actual television, sure. But like having to, I just don't get it. I think this is going to be a big, this feels like the .com boom bust. Like just like people are throwing money at like bad ideas. This isn't what people want. People want to watch TV content like with their feet up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and frighteningly or concerningly, this has already raised $1 billion in preparation for their April.
Well, it just also feels like it's something that's going to encourage loneliness and bad sleeping behavior and all these things that the internet and the social media and our devices are already being accused of and found guilty of. It feels like it will increase all the worst parts of how
the distracted
these
lifestyle
devices
thing.
are changing our humanness.
Yeah, the distractedness of it all. Like
Yeah,
I do
hate it.
feel like we're at the precipice of social media and the free internet, quote unquote, changing radically, both through government regulation, through like the clamping down of, you know, the transaction that you have with social media and Google and everything is this awesome service is free because you are giving up a ton. And I think that will come to the surface, and there will be a more of a tangible transaction for a lot of these services, which will completely stifle their ubiquitous usage. In my opinion, I think I think we're going to see the breakup of social media, but we are habitually trained to be on our devices all the time now. So I think there will be a void that other things can come in to distract us on our phones. I just don't know that it's 10-minute long TV shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I
just want to remind people to read books and like draw and sleep. Like all these things that 7 to 10 minutes at night you should be doing instead.
I know, but like I think that ship has sailed. People are going to get into bed and look at their phone for 10 minutes with the lights out before they put it down and fall asleep, you know?
I don't do that.
And if you're not gonna, for the people who do, you know, let's say for example, you know, Twitter or Instagram or something changes significantly or gets regulated or, you know, whatever, something else will fill that habitual routine spot. You know, but again, is it a scary high production value 10-minute TV show? I doubt it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, it's interesting you use the phrase devices changing our humanness, because that brings me to slice number 2. This one comes to us from the Mayo Clinic. And before anyone kind of prejudges this, I'll kind of read it out. Their researchers have developed a implantable device that you can implant in a certain part of people's brains. And it is shown to dramatically enhance their ability to remember things. Sometimes almost up to 20% better. Wow. How it works is the device, senses brain activity and will find if it's, quote, a suboptimal brain activity. If it is, like if your synapses in your brain are sending messages to each other, and this part of the brain that they know is associated with memory, the device will send a zap just to that part of the brain that you won't actually feel, but it will enhance the signal itself to make sure that the signal is stronger and the memory will be implanted more deeply into your head. And they've actually found that this works pretty well. As one researcher said, just like meteorologists predict the weather by putting sensors in the environment that measure humidity and wind and temperature, we put sensors in the brain and measure electrical signals. Now, right now, the use isn't going to be, hypothetically for someone who just wants to have a better memory. They're actually seeing it as a solution for people who have suffered from traumatic brain injuries and have lost memory function, that is meant to be there. And so that's the idea for it. But hypothetically, this could be implanted into the brain of someone who's perfectly healthy that just wants to enhance their ability to remember or be sharper. I was interested to see what your guys' thoughts are on this kind of meld of technology and, bio-design by God.
By God.
Well, I mean, our own technology with, the actual functions of the neurological system,
Mm-hmm. At what point does neural enhancement move into playing God in a dangerous way? And what are the theological ethical considerations of this type of technology?
Because it's one thing if you're restoring activity to someone who's suffered a traumatic injury, but if this technology is there, if we think that ultimately the soul exists in the mind, your personhood ultimately is, if you had to pinpoint it to a physical location, it would be in your mind. Once you start kind of tampering with that to a certain degree, do you risk losing part of your own sort of humanity?
Yes.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah, I just am. I mean, Yeah, I mean, again, this is one of those moments where we have 8 seconds to think about a big topic and then and then send it out to a lot of listeners.
And you've already dropped the ball on the Rambo convo, so the pressure is on now.
It just feels like one of a spiritual discipline we get to choose in our generation is choosing to remain more human and less computer. And I kind of want to do that as much as possible. And that, I mean, but again, I'm with you that if there's an injury or if there's a way we can restore brain function, that feels different than me just wanting to remember better. So I zap myself.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, that's a simplification of it, but ultimately that's what the implications are, is that you could have this
count
device.
on me to simplify it, Jesse.
But
just breaking it down.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. That's basically what this device is doing on a very honed level. But it does just open up more windows for conversations about bioethics, because it's one thing like, prosthetics or even, 3D printed devices or, nanotechnology that can restore like muscle fiber and things like that, or, nanoparticles that you can inject into the blood to target specific diseases. This is actually altering brain function, which why it kind of opens up a whole new window for people to talk about the ethics behind it. So it's an interesting story, but it's actually being tested right now at the Mayo Clinic with a pretty high degree of success. So something to keep an eye out for.
You know who's at the Mayo Clinic? Dr. Mike Huckabee, my own dad. So maybe when Annie goes up there to give him his Father's Day present, we could get the scoop, the inside.
Hey, listen, while you are cleaning his teeth, and he's
wait, your dad works there?
Yeah, both my parents do actually. My mom and dad.
Wait, did we already know that?
Wait.
Dr. Huckabee.
Hold on, you've made this Governor Mike Huckabee joke so much that you're now saying that your actual real father.
Yeah, we're talking about my biological dad. Here, not my spiritual father, who is the former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee,
and can really slap that bass.
Are your I know your dad's a doctor. Is your mother also a doctor?
She's a nurse. She's an RN.
Annie, let's practice.
That's why I'm so healthy.
What's your father's first name, Tyler?
I'm gonna hate
it. It is Mike.
Okay, so I am Mike Huckabee, not the former. I am him.
You are
Dr. Mike Huckabee.
Dr. Mike Huckabee. I have eaten popcorn. It is embedded deep between every tooth in my mouth, and you have come to clean my teeth. And this is your chance, Annie, to ask me about these brain experiments. Please proceed. You are you. Yes, you are you. I am Mike Huckabee.
Yes.
You are cleaning my teeth. Okay, your turn.
I'm gonna. You aren't gonna be able to answer because your mouth is open.
We'll see.
Dr. Mike Huckabee, do you feel like these brain scan things? What are they called? Where you can electrocute yourself?
Because I was just going.
I know. I was gonna get to the. I was trying to form a real question. You were gonna be an idiot. I
It's too
knew
late.
how this was gonna go. I was just trying to play my part well.
We can do it in post.
The correct response is yes, and Annie. This is improv.
Trying, Jesse.
Get a yes
I was
and in this one.
I was
into the
asking a
record
real
books.
question, and then I was going to let you do your stupid answer. I knew exactly what we were doing.
Your stupid answer.
Okay. All right. Let's try one more time,
I think
Annie.
it actually
Annie.
ended up being funnier than it would have been.
Yeah.
I think it all worked. I think
Annie, one more try.
Couldn't be
One more
patient.
try.
The problem with your acting, Jesse, is you couldn't be patient for me to finish my part
And I
of
was
the
just
scene.
gonna go.
Yeah. Jesse's impatience ruined our timing.
That was the joke.
That was good.
The ending was horrifying.
Chandler, can you clip that together into a?
Chandler, can you make us funny in post?
I think it's all there. The setup, the punchline. I think it's all there. You just gotta
There's a
have
joke
some
somewhere
move some
in there.
things around.
Listen, Chandler. Right now, you are like Michelangelo staring at a formless block of marble. There's a beautiful structure in there. Your job is to free it.
Yes.
Okay?
Amen.
Your job is to free it. Now free that joke and make it beautiful.
Free that joke.
All right, what do you have, Annie?
Well, let's keep talking about not becoming robots as people because they just released it from Australia. They just released a study that says you can change from being a night owl to an early bird in just a few weeks. But and all three of you are night owls, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
I would say I have actually transitioned to be more of a morning.
I go to bed pretty early days.
Yeah, Jesse, I mean, you have to because you have tiny people all the time.
Yeah. I'm
you don't have a choice. But this research they did with these millennials, of course, it said that if you just simply tweak your sleeping pattern over a couple of weeks, you are able to literally switch your body clock. The people in the research were going to bed. Cameron, I think this is you, the first half. You don't get to sleep this late, but the average bedtime was 2:30 in the morning.
2:30?
And the average wake up was 10:15. I was like,
Lord.
I wish I lived a life where I didn't have to wake up till 10:15.
That's that freelancer lifestyle.
Man, that is nuts.
Well, once you start doing some unlicensed oral hygiene work, you'd be surprised. You can make your own hours. Most of those people
problem
want
is
that
Cameron
work
goes to bed
done.
at 2:30, but still has to get up at 5:30.
That is my Friday night though. 2:30 to 10:15. I'll sleep in on a Saturday and a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like that's my joy. That's my zone right there. But you're right. During the work week, it's 1-ish to I have to get up by 7. So 6:45.
Yeah, that's.
You should start going to bed earlier. So the way they say to do it is to back everything up by 2 hours. Whatever you're doing now, back it up by 2 hours. Go to bed 2 hours earlier, get up 2 hours earlier, eat breakfast as soon as you wake up, and eat dinner at no later than 7 p.m. And doing that for a couple of weeks will get your body clock into an early bird body clock, which I've only been an early bird I've been an early bird my whole adult life, and I absolutely love it.
And you know what the great news is? Because you said you would love a job that would let you stay awake till 2:30 in the morning and sleep till 10:30. From my experience, putting up a Craigslist ad that says "clean ya choppas, $$." Most people who solicit unlicensed oral hygiene professionals like to do it very, very late at night in very weird locations. So it's the perfect field for you.
No, I'm an early bird. I have to get them right when they wake up.
Oh, well.
Before they go to their
Before
jobs.
they go to work, I'm going to get the morning brush in on everybody.
That's the crack at noon because these weirdos, they got stuff going on all night. So
It's weirdos.
But you'd have to want it. You'd have to want to tweak your. So you're saying if you have the willpower and the desire, you know what, I'm tired of being a night owl. This isn't fun. This isn't for me anymore.
I'm missing too much of the world. I never get to brunch, etc.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of under what circumstance. For me, I feel like it's kind of happened kind of naturally in my 30s. I've just enjoyed waking up earlier.
But Cameron is our proof that that's not true because he's a grown adult and he wants to stay up until 2:00 in the morning.
I don't say I want to. No, it's the way my brain works. It's like I'm working all day and then I immediately am in dad mode until he goes to bed at 8:30. And then it takes me literally a couple of hours of just shut my brain off, watch stupid TV or sports or something to recalibrate from the day. And then somewhere around 11 or 12, my brain starts the fun what if thinking, and I'll be researching something, or I'll be working on some design or putting together a Squarespace website or just something that's fun for me, right? And that usually goes for a couple of hours. And so that's
this research says that if you back everything up, that will happen in the late afternoon instead of at night.
But I can't.
I can't do that. They claim that your middle of the night peak backs up to the middle of the afternoon if you change your sleeping pattern.
But I can't do the personal, creative, what if stuff during the workday. I need to focus on my job. So to me, I don't know when I can, other than removing a couple of hours of TV feed up decompression, but I enjoy that, so I don't know.
Yeah. Usually my only creative window is that, about 25-minute span where that drifter is cleaning my teeth. And I just let my mind wander and not worry about the things he's doing to my mouth, and just
everything.
He's done some lasting damage. I don't know why I keep paying him.
This is the stuff everyone's wishing I would put a full stop to. This is the Rambo of June.
Everybody gets what they want on this podcast. There's something for everybody. That's good.
All right, what do you have, Governor Huckabee?
Okay, well, thank you for finally somebody appreciates my actual title here. So this is interesting. This slice opened up a whole world that I was not really aware of. But this comes to us from across the pond, where the Church of England is. I didn't know this, but they have a pretty huge pot of money, about $16 billion US dollars that they oversee,
billion?
and they invest it. 16 with a B, billion.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane because there's I believe there is actually, if you live in England, then some of your tax dollars do end up going to the church. There's a church tax there. So they have a lot of money and they invest it. They have a lot of different investment opportunities and they have some rules about what they will and won't invest in. Obviously, there's what are called sin stocks, what are known as sin stocks, which is anything that has sort of a legally or ethically gray area that the church then will actually choose to not invest in, and they'll make a big announcement about why they're not investing in it, why this is wrong, why nobody should invest in it. And then they have some things that are a little more gray, maybe not quite as maybe it's not black or white, but it's gray. And for those things, they have a 10% rule. They won't invest, they won't do more than 10% investments in those. And now they just added they just made an announcement about what they're going to allow, a new investment opportunity that has now become permissible under church law that was not permissible until now. Any guesses about what that might be?
Conservative politics.
They're investing in ambiguous press conferences. Yeah, that's the Huckabee family special.
Mid-2000s rock and roll. Obviously, the answer is medical marijuana. The Church of England will be joining with a lot of other investors and is now open to the idea of not recreational, but will begin to invest in medical marijuana companies, saying that because they recognize, according to them, that these actually provide a lot of good for people in the world, and that they think that this is permissible under church doctrine now to, if not smoke it, which the church has not spoken in on recently, to at least have some stocks in it, because it's going to very quickly, they believe, and I think most financial experts would probably agree, as this increase, as the legalization sort of changes around the world, this is going to become a big business.
I'm as a Christian, I mean, I've never participated or experienced marijuana, but as a Christian, I have a hard time thinking that it's not okay. You know, like for what the Church of England is saying. I mean, it's like not just good investment money-wise, but the natural substance. There's a lot of proven HTC healing qualities, you know, with anxiety and pain and things like that. And it's just tough to kind of go, it's kind of tough to dismiss it as it's bad. It's, you know, it's completely natural. It's not a pharmaceutical. Yeah. It's not a synthetic. Yeah. It's like, it's God-made, not man-made. I just, like, it's tough for me to like understand why, you know, maybe like liquor is legal and it is not. So it's kind of, it doesn't make, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Do you draw a distinction between medical and recreational? Would you say there's I would say theologically speaking, is there a distinction there?
I think the Bible talks about like drunkenness and stuff, and like when you are you know, have lost control of your you're not in control anymore. I think that's a dangerous slippery slope where you're not in control anymore, whether it be alcohol or any other substance. But yeah, again, I've never used it. I don't know. And there may be people listening, and I don't mean to endorse something that might be a stumbling block or problematic. And I don't mean to offend anybody.
Which is always the case.
Because the Bible does talk about too, like not causing your brother to stumble. And like that is a big thing for me, like even as a Christian or a Christian leader, like kind of trying to portray a lifestyle that you would want others to emulate. But, and do your actions point people to Jesus? I mean, that would be another thing, you know, but you know, as far as I don't know. I don't, it's not something that
I have a question. What's a stumbling block? And does anybody but Christians use that word? Is that a thing that used to exist that people actually stumbled over, or is that just something we've decided to say?
Like you're saying, like in the ancient world, people would be walking down a road, and it would almost be like,
"Oh, don't look out for that." There's a stumbling
block. It's like the red turtle shell. Yeah, it's like the red turtle shell of of Mario Kart. That in the Bible times, people they didn't have like a banana peel. It would be like, "Hey, here's a stumbling block." Whoa, I didn't see that.
Exactly.
The third stumbling block today.
Where does that come from? That feels very, I don't know anyone else who says that but us.
I am sure that it's like hedge of protection, which sounds just weird, dumb, biblical. But then when you go back to the shepherd lifestyle, and like Jesse and I experienced in Somaliland, there's literally thorny hedges that they take and they put around the pen of the calves to protect them from the coyotes and the other things, and is literally a hedge of protection. And you're like, okay, that's where it came from. I'm sure there's an origin story for stumbling block.
We probably have listeners yelling at us again.
No, but Cameron, to your point, I do think it's interesting. Some of the oldest, most acclaimed like beers in the world are recipes developed by monks that funded their monasteries for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, that it's
and again, not to condone, but a lot of the ancient Christian mystics also, ate and did things that opened up some of their mind, and again, Christian thought and theology. So it's like. There's
like
a natural
and weird kind of hallucinogenic, mind altering.
What's tough for me to understand is the when you learn a lot more too about the suppression of the African American people in American history over the last 200 years, and how that minority group and impoverished communities were targeted in the drug war and stuff like that. That certain things are okay and certain things are not, because of your societal class. That all of a sudden now I'm going, well, how has that factored or filtered into our theology about those substances and those experiences, And so like, I'm honestly on a journey of learning about a lot of that stuff right now. Again, not like going out there, hey, let's try everything. I'm not advocating for that, but I'm trying to get more educated about why does our society say this is okay and this is not from a Christian context. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been dabbling in Christian mysticism and taking a lot of those weird vitamins they sell at 7-Elevens right by the cash register. Last time I had 3 Lone Stallion pills that set me back $25 at the gas station. I woke up 4 days later with a French guy cleaning my teeth, and I don't know what happened, but I've steered clear ever since. I did have a pretty good understanding of the Gnostic Gospels when I woke up, but I still don't want to encourage people dabbling. So,
sure.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, the word stumbling block, it doesn't look like there's really any sort of it's always just meant like something that would cause somebody else to like trip or stuff. There's no like, well, back in ancient times they used to put these blocks on the road just so you trip over them. Like that doesn't. It just means a rock that you trip over. I think it just means
Bible pranksters out there.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Phil Wickham joins us.
Don't you know that I really like you, and if you like me too, I could be your girlfriend, you could be my dude. I really like you, and if you like me too, I could be your girlfriend, you could be my dude. You could be my dude.
Listening to Litany. The song is My Dude. Phil Wickham recently teamed up with Matt Redman and Bethel Music's Brian and Jen Johnson for a new stripped-down worship project, the 4th installment of his Singalong series. The visual album features live footage from the evening of the service where it was recorded and invites the listener to participate in the intimate worship performance. We recently spoke with Phil about the album and some of its more powerful tracks.
And oh, hero of heaven, you conquered the grave. You free every captive and break every chain. Oh God, you have the great things. We dance in your freedom, awaken the light. Oh Jesus, our Savior, your name lifted high. Oh God, you have the great things.
I was really interested in how Phil came on this idea and why he wanted to do something where the vocals are turned down and it's this really stripped down community experience. And he explained to me that a few years ago he was out on tour with Crowder, and it was actually Crowder's request that he come on stage between acts on this tour and just play acoustic. And at the same time, he had released some new music Phil had that was getting picked up in churches. So a lot of people at the concerts became familiar with these songs, and that's when he kind of had the revelation about why this is such an effective form of worship. Here's what Phil said.
Unbeknownst to me, some of these songs off this record were already kind of seeping into some churches and some different communities around the country. So even though it was just me and a guitar up on these stages throughout this tour, there's some really special moments happening where people would really start singing out, and there's something about the simplicity of it and how different it was from this big studio band recordings I was doing, where I thought, man, I wish I could capture this and just put it out. And so we did that with the first sing-along. We did not put much time or effort or money or anything towards it. I just looked at the next thing on my calendar where I was going to be playing just me solo on stage, and it was in Portland. And so we brought some mics and mic'd the crowd and just pressed record and didn't fix a thing. And I figured, man, this was so quick and easy. No one's going to actually want to pay for this. So let's just give it away for free. And that was before like Spotify or, music. People think all music should be free now pretty much, but this was before that happened. And man, like about 100,000 downloads later of the record, just from people going to my website and grabbing a free download of it. I figured, well, maybe there's a place for this, So since that sing-along, every 3 or so years I've put one out, and the heart of the whole thing is just like keeping it super raw, very real, no overdubs, no recutting of vocals, and just capture a group of people singing out to God together, where even in the mix, the audience is pretty much as loud as my vocal, so people feel like they're kind of a part of it too, and they're in the room, or they're in their cars or their kitchens or whatever, listening to this record. So, man, that's what Sing Along for, is just continuing that idea of just putting out some worship songs done in a really simple, stripped down way, that hopefully help people connect to the heart of God.
Phil Wickham discovered a bootleg recording. That's what,
here's the thing. When you got a face like Phil Wickham, you don't need much else.
Yeah, you don't. It's true.
If I looked like him, nobody would want me. I wouldn't need any producers either.
The thing about the bootlegs of sticking the mic in the crowd is it works if the people near the mic can sing. And it doesn't.
It's a gamble.
Exactly.
It's a roll of the dice.
Or else you have a comedy album, and both work. But it's weird, Tyler, that you mentioned his looks, because the next 4 questions are about hair product. And here's what
hair product.
No, but I feel like right now that's sort of countercultural, going the stripped down method, when worship a lot of times getting bigger and bigger, which there's nothing wrong with. But I wanted to get, and Phil's been a part of that. He plays with a lot of these big outfits, but I wanted to get his thoughts on why he feel like this stripped down format has such power and intimacy in the worship setting. Here's what he said.
Sometimes when you break it down to there's nothing really kind of worth looking at other than, there's just me on stage. So there's nothing really for people to worth looking at, or their attention going anywhere else other than these giant lyrics on the back of the screen.
Just me on
and
stage.
So there's something special, especially when people are used to kind of the free for all fireworks going off thing, which I love. There's something kind of shocking to the system when you're shoulder to shoulder, standing room only, in this room, and all that's happening is some guy strumming acoustic guitar, and we're singing out, Jesus, the anthem of my heart, Jesus, the anchor of my soul. And really, the only thing to grab your attention is that lyric and that melody. There's something that happens in a room, I think, that breaks down that thing that I have to work to break down so much, that thing between, even though I'm on a stage and everybody else isn't, we're all in this together, and sometimes that takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes to kind of get a group of people in that place where we're all in it together. But on those sing-along nights, it's I strum a chord and they're just ready to go.
Yeah.
And so I think there's probably a number of reasons behind that, but something about just simplifying and kind of shocking the system into oh yeah, this is really all it's about is what we're singing about, and everything else and all that we can add should kind of work towards getting people around this common thread of oh yeah, Jesus, the anthem of my heart,
Yeah.
So the sing along things I think can help get there faster sometimes.
The other thing too, I want you guys to notice, his voice even sounds handsome. I don't know. I've never heard someone say your voice is handsome, but that's a handsome voice.
You did say before you tossed to his last answer that he, he's doing this stripped down thing, but he also plays with big outfits. And I was wondering if you asked him about his wardrobe choices, as a follow-up to that observation.
It's weird. I mean, he's starting to look like Elton John, like early 90s Elton John. It's quite distracting and a very odd choice considering, the music is so stripped down. No, but I did want...
The contrast is a shock to the system.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's stripped down acoustically, but if you look at him, he's wearing a giant bird
it's
costume.
An artistic statement. It's an artistic statement.
It's a statement.
Yeah, he's dressed like a football mascot for reasons that are never addressed and never made clear. No, but I did... One of the songs I want to ask him about, and we'll actually come out of this question, maybe playing a clip of Highest Praise that he did with Matt Redman. Maybe you heard of him. Here's a little background on the song Highest Praise, which I think is a highlight from the record.
And then Matt Redman, who's also been in Southern California, he moved out here recently. He and I have been writing songs here and there, and we had this idea of this really simple chorus called Highest Praise that came out of my pastor just saying, hey, we sing all these songs with all these amazing lyrics and metaphors and poetry, but there's a lot of new Christians that are in our church, and it'd be cool if we had a song where it just kind of said, hey, this is what we're doing. And so I was like, okay. So I literally sat down and wrote the first verse and chorus. Like if I was singing for a bunch of people that had no idea what was going on, I was writing a song for them. What would I write? Yeah. So I sent that to Matt, and he fleshed out the rest of the song and sent it to me. I was like, man, it's awesome. Do you want to come sing it at Singalong? He's like, sure. So it's this very kind of natural, open-handed thing that just felt like, okay, what new songs am I excited about that I've been a part of? Who have I written them with? And since Matt's already in California, Jonathan's already here, just trying to instead of trying to kind of pull this whole giant thing together and make it happen, more just kind of like, God, what have you been up to? And let's just kind of let that flow into what Sing Along is going to be.
We give you the highest praise. We give you the highest praise. We give you the highest praise. Jesus, our Savior, you're worthy of it all.
Yeah, so it was a real pleasure talking to Phil. He's, a lot of these songs were written with the Jesus Culture crew, but he also has Jen and Brian Johnson from Bethel on here. Like I said, he's got Matt Redman on here. He's a guy who crosses in and out of a lot of these different worlds on the worship scene, but brings something really special to the table. And I really like how these albums, it's about the corporate experience. It's about entering into really intimate worship, which is really refreshing to hear. And so people can go check it out. It's the album is Sing Along 4, and it's out now.
Sing Along 4. All right. Well, that was Phil Wickham. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. Oh boy.
Oh, in the desert, they gave you the slip rope and
Today's episode is also brought to you by Plant with Purpose. These people talk about taking care of the planet like it's a sacred calling. Because when we steward the earth, people thrive. And that's how we catch God's vision for when he called creation good. If we're not taking care of the planet, people suffer from poverty, hunger, climate change, and deforestation. This is a no-brainer. With your $22 a month, that's like a trip and a half to Chili's for Chandler. Plant with Purpose funds sustainable agriculture and deforestation reversal efforts in communities hit hardest by environmental challenges. Restoring the planet is one of the most effective ways to end poverty, and helping people is one of the most effective ways to protect the environment. So for just $22 a month, you can plant a small forest of empowerment. Learn more at plantwithpurpose.org/relevant.
Speech with a fury, sentence with no plan ahead of you. Without heart, you're winning out for any man or child.
You're listening to Kishibashi. The song is F. Delano. Okay, it's time for your feedback. So last week we brought you the hard-hitting news that we covered at Relevant last week about the Catholic priest who reprimanded the women in church for wearing a tank top. And so we got talking about times we've been reprimanded, like in youth group and things like that in church, and asked you for times that you've been reprimanded in church. And Oh boy, you guys had a lot of stories.
People have been reprimanded in church.
I mean, I'm proud of you all.
I want to officially say something. We did not mean to open wounds of like harassment by authority figures in the church. We didn't mean to open up old hurts. And I want to officially say to all the women who experienced some of the stories that you sent us, I was shocked and I am sorry. It was unbelievable, some of the shame and some of the things that have been done and said to you by men in authority in the church. And that was not our intent on this stupid question of the week. You know what I mean? We were just thinking about like times you got in trouble at youth group. You know what I mean? So you guys went real and we heard you and we saw it and wow. But here's a few of the lighter replies. Yeah, here you go.
This is from Braxton, which like I've read this several times and I don't understand, why this is that big of a deal. Braxton says Braxton admits he was a little bit over the top in high school, and the only way that I know he's over the top is he appears to be wearing Jinkos in this slice. That's his definition of over the top. A church bad boy, in other words. He said he once served communion in a big Church of Christ congregation where evidently you have to be barefoot because of, ideas about, holy ground. But he was wearing his ultra wide jeans at the time. Again, that does not seem like a big deal to me. But a week later, he found out that his youth minister was, quote, ripped by a lot of the congregation. For ultra wide jeans, I mean, I would be upset about someone wearing ultra wide jeans. I am upset about people wearing ultra wide jeans, but not for church reasons. It's
not for church reasons.
Yeah. I wouldn't take it out on the youth pastor.
Yeah.
I like Zach sang in the children's choir, and the children's choir would all sit together during the service, and his parents were in the actual choir up in the choir loft. And he said that during the sermon, he made a sweet bulletin airplane. And his mom stood up in the choir loft and walked across the choir to come chastise her son. That mama was not playing that day. She was like, nope, everybody sees this plane. I'm taking it down.
Wow. Coming off the choir stand, the bleachers or whatever they're called. Man.
This I can see how this one went down. Bethany says she got in trouble for having more Bible knowledge than the teacher in her young adult Bible study. She said, I knew more than he did, and it made him feel, quote, emasculated. Bethany, hats off. Hats off to you. That just means the student outpaced the teacher there. That's not your fault at all. That's awesome.
Right.
Levi said that he was once reprimanded for putting his arm around his fiance's shoulders during church.
Oh, wow.
Okay, fiance.
Were they bare shoulders?
They are now married, but at the time, fiance put his arm around her shoulders during church and got reprimanded by the pastor's son. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad the pastor's son had the nerve to do the right thing there. So protecting those people from the,
Ryan said that in second grade, a boy punched him in the forehead. Who punches people in the forehead? Punched him in the forehead over a girl in the church's school. And that night at midweek service, the senior pastor had him stand up in front of the congregation as the victor of the fight. How in the world?
Was that getting chastised, or was he like saying?
This whole thing is making my hands sweat. I hate these answers.
We got the winner.
Yeah, that's like church. That's like Sunday school fight club. That is very close to Sunday school fight club.
A lot of these answers really are about young women in the church getting told that you're immodest and this, that, whatever, and being shamed for it and stuff like that. And that really is angering me reading these replies. Yeah. Again.
Well, I'll tell you one that this is someone who deserved to be reprimanded. Cole. I once got called out in front of a 15,000 person youth group at a 15,000 person youth group conference for trying to take my shirt off during the sermon. Yeah, that was inappropriate. Cole. That was
you should have gotten in trouble. You don't do that, Cole.
Yeah, you should be removed from the
This person was also, it sounded like deserved to, they just got what was coming for them. Andy said, back in high school, we had a Christian pop punk band. Stop right there. That you should be a good pastor.
Shame.
A good pastor would call you out for a Christian pop punk band. But we're not even there. We played.
Listen, as a former member of Lap 7, a Christian pop punk band in high school, the 7th lap around the city of Jericho, the walls fell.
Oh no!
I never
no! I did not know this. I knew about the college band. I did not know about Lap 7.
Wow,
The
Lap
high school pop
7.
punk band. Yeah,
Oh.
short-lived, but man, we had some energy.
Oh.
We really got after it.
Well,
Wow.
did you have this kind of energy? Andy said their Christian pop punk band played at the Falls Creek Cabin and got reprimanded because we caused the other campers, this is verbatim, we caused the other campers to mosh out of their control because of our crazy music. The rock and roll energy of this Christian pop punk band was such that other campers, who apparently were not even part of the same camp, it sounds like, were against their will moved into a mosh pit situation.
You know
they
what
had
that
no control
sounds
over their bodies.
That sounds like the devil's music.
That's
Oh
exactly
my
that's
gosh.
how it works.
Sounds like a
That's how it
stumbling
works.
block. That was my band in middle
big
school.
time.
Stumbling block.
I like stumbling block.
She went out.
Hey, Stumbling
I
Block
like
is a
Stumbling
great
Block.
name.
She and all of her bandmates wore tank tops.
Yeah,
you
we
can see
did.
the shoulders right there.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
can
lot
see
of
my
shoulders.
elbows.
So much upper arm. It was really offensive.
All right, that'll do it for your feedback. There's a lot more, and I don't think you should go read it. I really don't. Just
Yeah.
Be better.
depressing.
Just be better.
Yeah,
now.
ignorance is bliss, and let's chart a new course for the future of the church. All right,
That's
it's
right.
time for this week's.
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
So earlier in the show, we were talking about live PD. We're done with it. Now that we know how the sausage is made, done.
Not
Canceled.
interested.
Now we're
Yeah.
canceling the term stumbling block.
100%.
That's right.
We're on a cancel culture binge today. So we want to know what you would add to the list. What else should be canceled from culture? Not people. We're not talking
Not
about individual
humans.
people. We're not. Let's not make it real. Let's not make it hurtful. But what things, whether it be phrases we say or habits or things that are accepted in society or things that are popular, that we should just that should never
No more.
exist. No more. We
Yeah,
got to be done with
here's
it.
an
We got to be
example.
done with it. We got to move on. Here's mine. Old Town Road. We got to be done with it. We got to move on. We just need to move on to something else. It's been number one
Sold
for
on
9
that
weeks.
one, but okay.
9 weeks.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's an insane thing.
Mine is required certifications for oral hygiene workers. I don't need the government telling me who and who isn't allowed to clean my teeth for money.
Oh my gosh.
That seems like an overreach of what the founding fathers intended
my
when they
gosh.
drafted laws. Why on earth
Oh my gosh.
is should the government even be
Jesse,
concerned
someday,
about that?
if you get a book deal, I want you to write the manifesto of your libertarian treatise.
It's very fringe.
Yeah.
And
Very
like,
fringe.
very
What
radical.
is
Yes.
the
It's
very
platform
radical.
of your political ideology? Because
A good question.
I think Big Floss would be really a major focal point.
Oh, they're in the crosshairs right now.
Right.
They are in this is the kind of stuff that scares them. And this is why they double down on their absurd quote unquote studies about the quote unquote benefits of fighting quote unquote gum disease.
Oh,
We've
my
heard it
gosh.
before. We have heard it before.
Oh, my word.
All right. So hit
Okay.
us up with the things that you would cancel from culture if you could. Just we're done. We move on. Not that it never existed. We can learn from our past mistakes. But now that we know what we know, we got to move on. All right. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. You can also post your longer lists on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Many thanks to Quip for making the episode possible. Remember, Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/relevant right now, you can get your first refill pack for free. Quip makes an awesome graduate or Father's Day present. Thanks also to Phil Wickham for joining us. His new album, Singalong 4, is out now. Go get it. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Chandler String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
And I'm Annie F. Downs.
We will see you on Friday. Have a good week, everyone.
No hero story, there's no blaze of glory, but dawn only come at the end of the night.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Stronger than the tears in your eyes, it's do or die, we're alive.
Relevant Podcast Network.